being serious. What is something you've learned about him that's maybe surprising?
Well, aside from go hard, his beard is pretty strong too. All right, but like I told you last week, I believe it was last week, he plays with extension. You know, like you watched the play from this past weekend when he broke through for the sack. I mean, it was blocked at first, but then the hands, he remained active with his hands. He kept pushing and clawing through. Again, is it something you put on a drill tape, like in terms of, okay, this is the perfect way to break through for the pass rush? No, but he understood if I want to rush these guys correctly, no different than what we're dealing with this week with Pittsburgh, because they're bigger bodies, long guys who get their hands on you. You have to play with extension and continually use your hands. If you watch that clip, that's what he does. He's a long body who plays with his hands. That's going to aid in the pass rush. That's going to aid in the run game. So, I mean, I think if you go back and revisit that play, that's a perfect example of his physical tools that, you know, aside from the motor and all that stuff like that, but like the physical tools of playing with your hands, playing with extension, and being violent and, again, working it throughout the down will help him out.
Rob told us a couple weeks back that he actually had to talk to Vince about not killing the quarterback in the scout team.
Rob. Okay, Robbie. Okay, yep. Okay, yep.
Is that an experience you've had to have as well?
No, with him or just, I mean, you know, guys, everybody practices hard. We just, you know, as a group, we just got to learn how to practice together. You know, that's always a process. Any football season you're dealing with in the beginning of the year, especially when you have transition with new guys, how does this team practice? How do we practice well together? How do we get better where we're being competitive, but we're also being safe? That's just something normal that takes place between coaches, players, no matter what team it is early in the season.
I guess our question is that kind of speaks to the level of intensity and focus he brings to even scouting practice.
I mean, it's not even. Whenever we practice, it's the most important thing we do during the week, period. The meetings, I mean, I get the meetings. I love getting up there and talking to them and getting the information to them, but the practice is the most important thing we do during the week leading into the games. So everybody's intensity is up for practice. And, I mean, the thing is, you know, does Beagle work hard at practice? Yeah, but there's a bunch of guys working hard at practice because it's the most important thing we do on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. That's the most important thing we do out there when we go out to the field, because it's the most similar to the game. And that's the only way we can improve. That's the only way we can build confidence with one another, between the coaches, the players to each other. So everybody's intensity levels up. My intensity levels up for practice because it's the most important thing. All the preparation that goes in from a 24-hour work day, well, not a 24-hour work day, sorry. Sometimes it feels like that. But like an 18-hour work day to get ready for those 2 hours of practice, that's why it's so important. That's why the intensity's up.
The last 2 weeks, especially on third down, there seem to have been some play calls that have gone really well. Mm-hmm. What do you like about your play calling in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, very few times in the history of football does it have anything to do with the play call. It's about the players out there. It's them executing, you know, what we're asking them to do. And, I mean, again, any success we've had on third down has been because of what they've done out there. I mean, I have very little to do with that. And aside from that, it's a collaborative effort. You know, again, thankfully for me, I got a good resource with our head coach, you know, Josh Boyer, Tony Oden, Robbie Leonard, Marion Hobby. Those guys all help with the input on the play calling in terms of the defensive call. But, you know, it comes back to the guys executing, the guys believing in the call, guys executing their assignment. Whenever you're talking about third down, it's an awareness thing, you know, because it could be different from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 20, you know, obviously there. Secondly, I think, you know, once you realize this run, you got to set the edge and play with power inside. Once you realize this pass, you got to play proper leverage, and you can't give the quarterback clear throwing lanes. So all that stuff combined together, I mean, what the call is, does it matter? I don't know. It matters how the guys do executing those tasks.
Who? Yep. It's you.
Okay. He did say my name, so like I responded to him. You just started talking. No, I'm joking.
Ryan Lewis started like a few days after you guys picked him up. What goes into the process of getting somebody ready that quickly, and how would you say he did?
You know, I think I've talked about it before, and that's our job. I mean, whoever we get, and if we're telling them they're going to play, that's our job to get them ready. And you know, the process of that is, you know, extra time, you know, when permitted, you know, we get extra time with them. And, you know, it's about how much work they put into it because they got to get caught up. So, I mean, it's definitely a challenging task. I mean, I would say for the player more so than the coach. I'm used to doing it. So, but I mean, that's a lot of credit to him in terms of getting ready to go, playing a competitive game, a great environment like Buffalo, and we just now it's the process of getting ready for Pittsburgh right now. Because we got a huge challenge there. With, I'm sure he's studying now their receiving core. The quarterbacks are playing well. Again, I mean, I know it's different without Ben there, but these guys are playing well. They're running the offense. And, as usual, Pittsburgh provides a challenge, in the passing game and in the running game, So I'm sure that's what they're focused on now.
How would you say we did?
Sorry?
How would you say we did?
He competed. He did what we asked him to do. He was playing the way we wanted him to play, and thought he did a good job. We got to do a better job and improve because we got to do enough to win the game.
I noticed that you guys have been playing Eric Rowe a little bit more in like a safety kind of linebacker, more of a hybrid. What about his skill set has allowed him to transition into more of that role?
Well, the funny thing is, for me, because I have to keep things simple because I'm not that smart, but the roles in football in terms of, okay, are you physical? Are you tough? Okay, so there, he could do that. He can tackle. So like right now, because he's physical, tough, and he's smart, he could tackle. Now we can maneuver throughout the defense. If we need him to play DN in a certain role, you follow what I'm saying? But like, because of those attributes, he's able to play different spots. And then on top of that, he plays with extension. He has length. So now moving him down closer to the box is not as much of an issue as it could be with some other players. So, I mean, it's all the physical tools there, extension, playing with some toughness. Can he tackle? The intelligence there, the length, that all plays into it where now it provides us with an opportunity to have some flexibility.
So I get one more.
Sorry.
On Eric. So his kind of switch is more about him rather than, you guys needing help at certain other positions.
Well, I don't know if it's a switch because, if you just take a look at from game to game, everything changes and we're game plan specific. So like, I mean, if, Eric or whoever it may be, they could be playing a different spot. How you see the spot, we might still be calling it whatever spot it is. But like, I mean, it's not necessarily like where it's based on where we need him to play, and then his skill set fits that mold. So,
Patrick, Achiao has emerged as a leader on this defense. What do you see from him on a week-to-week basis?
It's funny, we talked about that. I remember the first time I met him in the cafeteria, and he was talking about his stance and how it's going to be different and all that stuff like that. And I remember, I won't use the language I used. I said, no. Obviously there was something before that. I said, no, we're not doing that. But to his credit, and I really enjoy being around him and coaching him. He's worked his butt off to improve and do the things we're asking. He comes in every day. He goes to work. He's in good shape. He's trying to play. He's playing with better pad level. He's playing with his hands in front of his eyes. He's playing violently with his lockout and shed and getting rid of blockers. I couldn't be more pleased with him. Obviously he still has stuff he can improve upon, and we're working on that. But in terms of him as a worker, along with with the other guys on the defense, I've been pleased with that.
Mind when they announced Wilkins disqualified.
I'm calling the defense. Just next play. So that's what ends up happening. Got to move on and just move on to the next play and just keep rolling.
I want to ask you about the run defense. You guys are no longer the last in the league, but you're about 160 rushing yards per game. When we talked to you back in the spring, you said that is your top priority. What is it going to take for this defense to get better when it comes to containing the run?
The run game, again, to me, it starts with a mentality, I think, in this league. And, I think our focus on that is starting to improve. Starts with mentality. And after that, just in terms of understanding how we have to defend the run in this league to be successful. Then after that, it goes back to the fundamentals. Set the edge, play with power inside, and, proper pursuit angles to the ball. All things that I think we're working to get improved upon. And honestly, what we're doing is we're starting in practice trying to work it. Whether it's individual drills, whether it's extra 9-on-7, whatever it may be, we're doing what we have to do to improve that. And so, any improvement we've seen is because of practice. Now, what'll happen this week is the challenge is, you got Connor back there. And, it doesn't matter what you work on. You got to tackle that guy. You got to defeat the blocks of this offensive line, who's probably one of the bigger offensive lines in the league. And they have tight ends that are willing to block. So, it all comes back to, we're trying to improve it in practice, and then what we do on Sunday is, we'll see, or Monday we'll see, because it's definitely a challenge with Pittsburgh. I mean they've been violent with their double teams. You got Castro pulling, you got all this stuff going on. These guys are again, a very good up front offensive line, strong guys, big guys, and they got good backs.
How do you explain the 2 takeaways in the season, and how do you get more of those?
Again, to me, what we're going to try to do is starts with practice. Not to sound cliche, but we're practicing to get the turnovers. The thing that'll happen, usually a lot of times they come in bunches, so we got to get our hands on more balls. We got to force some more turnovers, but we're working to improve that. And again, there's teams that are a little bit more prone to ball disruption, and some that aren't. But we got to find ways to get the ball off of them.
Are you surprised by only 2 takeaways at this point in the season?
I'm surprised. We need more. Let me just put it that way. We need more, and so that's what we're working on. So.
You use the formation from time to time with one lineman and a whole bunch of backers and DBs. What needs to happen with that formation to make it work?
Well, just in the NFL in general, you want to try to have, want to try to be multiple out of whatever you do, because here's the thing I always explain to some of my friends. I'm like, all I do is football. Aside from my family, that's all I do. So if you stay in one thing the whole time, people will figure it out. So that's the part of it. You just got to keep growing it. And then again, you start getting input from the players, input from the other coaches, and it just starts to grow, and then you see where it goes from there. But again, if it's not going to work for that week, we won't use it. So for this week, who knows? I don't, we're not even there yet, to be honest with you. We're still focused on the people and early down stuff right now, but it's all based on what we think is going to be best for that week.
It seems like you've had a good result with it, though, is it not?
Yeah, I think it's been. Again, we got to get the win. That's the main result I'm more concerned with. But we've gotten some pressure. We've forced them. We've forced them not to convert on 3rd down. So we've had some success with it. But again, whether it's going to be a viable option for this week or not, we'll see when we get to that point studying them.
You mentioned earlier how Flo, of course, has an input on play calling and game planning, everything. I was trying to think about what that'd be like, because you're the guy that makes the call. I was thinking maybe it'd be like I'm cooking dinner, and my wife is making suggestions all the time. And wine. How about adding some mushrooms? Salt and pepper.
Well, we shared the office together for like 4 or 5 years. I'm not saying we're completing each other's sentences, but we go into it as he's the head coach, coordinator, and our assistant coaches being on the same page, and that's in terms of the input there, and then whatever coach wants to input during the game, he can, but we spend a lot of time together, so I don't know if it's like cooking dinner. I don't want to go that far. You come up with whatever you want to come up on that one. All right, thank you. Yes, yep, all right.